Apple hasn't officially announced an event for October yet, but let's be real, it's pretty much a given, right? The buzz around the follow-up to the iPhone 16 launch has been non-stop, so we can safely bet that something's on the way. Over the last few years, Apple has stuck to a pretty predictable schedule. MacBook Air updates in the spring, WWDC in June, iPhones and Apple Watches in September, and then some MacBook Pro news towards the end of the year. With that in mind, let's gather all the rumors and leaks floating around and see what we might expect. We've got some chatter about the MacBook Pro, iMac, Mac Mini, iPad Mini, and the next-gen iPads, all of which are likely to be revealed at an upcoming Apple event. With the successful launch of the M4 chip in devices like the iPad Pro, there's a buzz in the air about what's next for Apple. So, let's explore the possibilities and speculate on what the future might hold. Interestingly, Apple is one of the few companies that introduces its baseline processors or chipsets first, and then releases the more powerful versions later. This is in stark contrast to companies like Intel, AMD, and Nvidia, which typically debut their most powerful devices first, followed by the mid-range and then the base models. Mark Gurman's recent report shed some light on Apple's plans, suggesting that the tech giant is considering bypassing the M3 Ultra entirely for its high-end desktop lineup. This decision aligns with Gurman's earlier accurate prediction of the M4 chip's inclusion in the iPad Pros. Speculating on Gurman's report, it's conceivable that his sources initially hinted at the M3 Ultra, unaware of Apple's intentions to leapfrog to the M4 Ultra. This inadvertent leak could indicate a strategic move by Apple to keep its competitors guessing while quietly advancing its chip development. Considering Apple's trajectory with the M4, it's unlikely that they would backtrack to release an M3 Ultra now. It wouldn't align with their forward-looking approach to technology. Instead, it's reasonable to expect Apple to debut the M4 Ultra, possibly alongside other variants like the M4 and M4 Pro. Moreover, the long-overdue update to the Mac Mini, which hasn't seen a refresh in nearly 18 months, adds weight to the possibility of Apple introducing the M4 and M4 Pro chips across its entire Mac lineup. This would mark a significant step forward in Apple's silicon journey and could redefine the performance benchmarks for their desktop and mini computer offerings. With the introduction of the M4 chip in the iPad Pro, we can glean insights into the potential performance and specifications we might anticipate when the M4 makes its way into the MacBook Pro, especially in comparison to the M3. The M4 in the iPad Pro features a robust 10-core CPU, a 10-core GPU, and a 16-core neural engine, which are likely to be mirrored in the MacBook Pro. During the Let Loose event on May 7, Apple revealed that the M4 is built on a second-generation 3nm process, enhancing the power efficiency of Apple's silicon. This advancement should allow the upcoming MacBook Pro to deliver improved performance while maintaining cooler temperatures. According to Apple, the M4's CPU is 1.5 times quicker than the M2, and its GPU offers rendering performance that is 4 times faster than the M2. Additionally, it incorporates dynamic caching, ray tracing, and hardware-accelerated mesh shading, all of which could significantly enhance gaming on the Mac. As the MacBook Pro is set to adopt the M4 chip, these enhancements and performance features are likely to be present in Apple's laptop. However, details about the more advanced variants in the M4 series, namely the M4 Pro, M4 Max, and M4 Ultra, are still under wraps and will need to wait for Apple to provide further information. One thing is certain, the substantial upgrade to the neural engine will play a crucial role in managing many on-device AI functionalities, potentially making them faster than the cloud-based processing required for MacBooks with limited AI capabilities. Interestingly, the M4 chip in the iPad Pro features a built-in display engine that Apple claims enhances the tablet's OLED display with remarkable precision, color, and brightness. Since the MacBook Pro will also utilize the same M4 chip and display engine, could this indicate an OLED display is on the horizon for the MacBook Pro? Additionally, we hope the M4 MacBook Pro will feature more than 8 gigs of memory as a baseline, as the current M3 model struggles with that limitation. Unfortunately, based on the iPad Pro specifications, where the 256 and 512 gigs versions reportedly come with 8 gigs of memory, we might not see an increase. Since the memory is integrated into the M4 chip, it's likely that the M4 MacBook Pro will also start with just 8 gigs. Regarding battery life, it's expected to remain similar to what we have now. The existing M3 MacBook Pro boasts up to 22 hours of video playback and 15 hours of web browsing, and the M4 MacBook Pro may mirror these figures. Apple typically maintains consistent battery performance across its Apple Silicon laptops, focusing on enhancing performance instead. The M4 iPad Pro, for instance, retains the same 10-hour battery life as its predecessor, supporting this trend. There hasn't been much discussion regarding design updates for the M4 MacBook Pro, and if any changes do occur, we anticipate they won't be significant. In fact, it wouldn't be surprising if the upcoming MacBook Pro mirrors the design of the current M3 model. However, introducing new colors would certainly be a nice touch, and we can't completely dismiss that possibility, even though there hasn't been any news on that front yet. Additionally, there have been rumors about an increase in the number or speed of the Thunderbolt ports on the MacBook Pro, as noted by Wikftech, but for now, this seems to be mere speculation. Looking at the bigger picture, the last major redesign of the MacBook Pro took place in 2021, which is relatively recent in Apple's timeline. Historically, Apple has revamped its MacBook Pros in 2012, 2016, and 2021. Suggesting that the next redesign might not occur until around 2025 or 2026. So it's best not to expect a major chassis change this year. The M4 Mac Mini is rumored to launch later this year, featuring a significant redesign that aims to showcase a compact form similar to an Apple TV, albeit with a bit more height to fit additional hardware. This aesthetic update is expected to bring along various internal and external modifications that we can anticipate. As reported by Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, Apple is gearing up for a substantial overhaul of the new Mac Mini M4, set to hit the shelves later this year. This is particularly noteworthy since the Mac Mini's design has remained largely unchanged for over 10 years. Any alterations now would be quite impactful, and Gurman suggests that Apple is striving to make its smallest Mac even more compact. He notes that while the new Mac Mini M4 might be a tad taller than the existing Mac Mini M2, the overall size will be significantly reduced, bringing it closer to the dimensions of an Apple TV box. The mention of a smaller chassis has surfaced before, marking it as one of the most significant updates for the M4 Mac Mini. This is particularly noteworthy since analyst Ming-Chi Kuo has forecasted that the upcoming M4 MacBook Pro models will retain the same design as their M3 counterparts. However, considering that the Mac Mini hasn't undergone a major redesign in 14 years, additionally, we anticipate the inclusion of 3 Type-C ports on the back, all likely to support the Thunderbolt 4 standard, along with an HDMI port. This enhancement is feasible due to reports indicating that the M4 is equipped with 4 Thunderbolt 4 controllers, doubling the capacity of the M3. Historically, the Mac Mini has only been available in a silver finish, which has satisfied many users, but recent discussions suggest a potential space black option may be introduced in the future. Furthermore, a new braided cable design could also be part of the packaging. According to earlier reports, the M4 Mac Mini is not expected to launch until October, aligning with Apple's typical hardware release schedule. There's a buzz that the new iPad Mini will come with a more powerful processor than its predecessor. We're also hoping for some minor internal tweaks. The iPad Mini 6 currently runs on the A15 Bionic chip, which is also in the iPhone 13 series, but it's a bit slower than the one in the iPhone 13. Kuo mentioned back in December that the iPad Mini's main selling point would be its new processor, though he didn't specify which one. Now it's looking like it could be the A16 chip from the iPhone 14 Pro and Max, as well as the iPhone 15 and 15 Plus. You might be wondering if the iPad Mini could get an M1 chip like the iPad Air did. That could be a possibility for the future, but the rumors around the iPad Air launch suggested that Apple opted for the M1 due to a shortage of A16 chips at that time, according to Mark Gurman's tweet. There's also a good chance that Apple will bump the iPad Mini's RAM from 4 to 8 gigs to support Apple Intelligence when iOS 18.1 drops. It seems pretty set that the design won't be changing much, but the upcoming iPad Mini is likely to feature a new display controller aimed at fixing the so-called jelly scrolling issue, which makes things look a bit laggy. The iPad Mini used to have a 7.9-inch screen until the 6th generation came out in 2021, which bumped it up to 8.3 inches by ditching the home button. A report from ET News hints that a new iPad Mini with an 8.7-inch OLED display might be on the way, but don't expect it in the 7th generation. That's likely not coming until 2026. There have also been rumors about a foldable iPad, but it's probably not going to be part of this model. Back in December 2022, Ming Chi Kuo clarified that the idea of a foldable iPad mini was off base, saying it wouldn't make sense since a foldable version would cost significantly more than a regular iPad mini. The 7th generation iPad mini is likely to stick with the same 8.3-inch screen size, but there could be some exciting new display tech involved. A post from a South Korean forum back in November 2021 mentioned that Apple had ordered 8.3-inch screens from Samsung that could handle a maximum refresh rate of 120 Hz. If that's accurate, it might mean the next mini could feature the promotion ultra-smooth scrolling that we see on the iPad Pro and the iPhone 13 Pro models, as well as the 14 and 16-inch MacBook Pro. This could help with the jelly scrolling issue that some users have pointed out with the current iPad mini. We're a bit doubtful about a promotion upgrade since it's a key feature that sets apart the standard models from the Pro ones. Fingers crossed it won't be too long before we find out more. In November 2023, well-known Apple analyst Ming Chi Kuo hinted that the 7th gen iPad mini could launch in the latter half of 2024, possibly during the October event, which is almost here. So, what are you hoping to see from the upcoming iPad mini 7? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and for more updates, check out our channel. Catch you all in the next one, and until then, take care.